Welcome, everyone, to the Rosie and Bill Show. Our guest this week is a proud patriot who served his country, and he speaks from the heart about his love for God, family, and country. And his music, it flat out kicks butt. Please welcome to the Rosie and Bill Show a true American original and the man whose name is right here on this shirt I'm proudly wearing tonight, Creed Fisher. Creed, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, brother. I appreciate it.
Well, we're really happy to have you, Creed. And before we get started, in honor of a special day and, of course, the T-shirt that Bill was wearing, Bill has something a little special for you.
Yes, I do, Creed, because I met you back in June at Sellersville after your show. We talked, and I told you about our day today, and you mentioned to me that it was your 50th birthday, and you said you still wanted to come on with us. So here's a little something for you, Creed. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Creed. Happy birthday to you and many more. Happy
Thank
birthday,
you so much, man. That's the first time that's been sung to me today.
Oh, wow.
You were the
We were
first,
going to sing it together, but Zoom compresses the sound and you wouldn't hear either of us. So I let Bill handle it.
I heard you in the background, girl. Thank you so much for that, man. That means a lot.
Oh.
Well, it means a lot to us that you came here and did this. And like I said, you told me that night you were going to do it, and you did it. So we appreciate it. So what we're going to do is we got a couple things we want to talk to you about tonight, and then we're going to let you get to your birthday activities. But then we're going to have you back, and we're going to go back, and we're going to do like a full, long conversation hearing all about where you came from, your life, your accomplishments, all that stuff. But Rosie's going to pick up right now at a very particular time in your life where we're going to kick things off for right now. Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate each and every one of you. And we also appreciate our first and longest running sponsor of the show, Tom and his team of insurance professionals at the Malin Agency. If world-class customer service and doing business with someone you can trust is important to you, give Tom and his team a call today for all your insurance needs.
You got a later start than a lot of artists, right? With
absolutely.
Guitar. Yeah. I mean, I have two questions on that. First of all, did that help you as a songwriter to have that life experience behind you? Did that help in your development in that area? And also, what got you going at that time?
I think it definitely helped me. I don't think, as a songwriter, if you haven't lived much life, I don't know how you're going to write about some stuff. I think it helped me in every aspect. It was kind of a God thing. I don't think if I'd have got into music in my 20s, I'd probably burn out and messed it up. I pretty much messed up everything I touched in my 20s. So I think that, and the fact that as a songwriter, you just don't have much life experience in your 20s. So I'm would not change a thing about my story. I didn't get into music till I was 35. It came about because of a divorce. I was married for 12 years to my kid's mom, and I was a journeyman electrician out in Odessa, Texas for 23 years before I got to quit my job and do music full time. So I wouldn't change a thing about my timeline and how it went down. It's kind of crazy. I didn't pick up a guitar till I was 35. And, I had people telling me it was too late, that I was too old. And, I always tell this to my followers, don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to this chatter. Not just the haters. Your own grandma can tell you you're something that ain't quite accurate, because grandma's looking out for you.
Right.
She just wants you to be happy. But I love my story. The fact I got into it later in life, I think it's unique in its own way. And I turned 50 today, and I feel like I've made it in music. I knew with my standards that I had for myself that I was never going to be on the CMAs. I was never going to be on mainstream radio. I just don't have it in me to play that game. you know, so being where I'm at, doing it the way I did it, it couldn't make for a better 50th birthday party.
Wow.
And Creed, I have to tell you, for what it's worth, and I always believe that everything happens for a reason, and I think you're a shining example of that. And I mentioned earlier your show back in June at the Sellersville Theater, and I have to say that from the opening moment when your guitarist comes out and cranks up the national anthem, all the way through your Waving Old Glory to close out the show, I've never seen anything like it. The energy was amazing. I think you wanted the people in Sellersville to adopt you because you could feel the love in the auditorium. So my question is, does it get any better than that? I mean, you obviously could feel that energy. What's that like being up there and experiencing that?
Man, it's intense. It's a drug of its own. You know, I kind of say that in songs I've written throughout the years, like I Still Miss You. You know, it's like a needle in my veins. It's like I think everybody that does what I do will say this. I mean, you can't get it anywhere else. You can't get that anywhere else, you know, just the love. And I get so much love from my fans. You know, I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of artists do, but I've literally, like, a big part of my music is patriotic in nature. And I've literally held a grown man while he cried on my shoulder for 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. You know, like my music affects people in a way. I've had grown men come up to me and tell me if it wasn't for your music, I wouldn't still be here.
Wow.
That's heavy stuff, you know? And so I think that's why I always go the extra mile for my fans in that regard. And my show is super high energy. I keep it up the whole time, like you said, from the beginning to the end. And I'm just super blessed to do what I do and to get to be a voice for people who feel like they don't have a voice. You know,
Creed, when you were in the service, did you sing? Did your comrades know that you were a singer?
karaoke. Karaoke had just come out. That's how old I am. I turned 50 today.
And did they say, man, you're good?
They did. They actually did. You know, I knew back in the day, karaoke was kind of how I got the dream of wanting to do music, you know, because when you sing in the car to Garth Brooks, you don't know that you can really sing, you know. When you hit a karaoke machine, you kind of get an idea if you can sing or if you can't.
They're going to let you know.
Yeah, they said I could sing, so I went with it, you know.
That's awesome. Where do you draw the energy from? Because you do keep a pretty breakneck pace with your concerts and your, you know, making videos and touring and all of that. Where do you find the energy from?
I'm an energetic person, you know. I wake up hyper and ready to go, you know. I'm passionate about what I do for a living. I think when you love what you do for a living, because I've done both, you know. I've obviously been a journeyman electrician out in West Texas for 23 years. I mean, it wasn't a horrible way to make a living, but definitely wasn't my passion and the love of my life, you know. And so I think when you do your passion and something you love to do, it makes it easier. But I think just in general, I have a lot of energy. You know, I hope that keeps going as long as possible, you know, but I feel like I put out more music than a lot of artists, you know, than the average artist. And I feel like that's kind of my jam, you know, that's kind of what I do. I enjoy, because that's how I got started. You know, I got started on the side of recording music over and over. And I was trying to tour, but that was always a challenge for me, was the actual touring side of it. And so once the touring side of it kind of came around, it just made things easy because I'd already been such a hard worker in the studio, you know?
Yeah, and here's the other thing, Creed, that I have to say before I ask my next question. Not only do you put out video after video and song after song, but they're all incredible. Like I said, that night, song after song after song, nothing dropped off. It was just each one. I don't want to say each one was better than the last, but each one was just as good or better than the last. Because and there's some artists will have a couple of songs and maybe they'll have a hit single and they'll throw some other stuff together. But everything you put out, I mean, I can look on my playlist right now and you're all over it. And you've been all over it for a while because of that quality. And with everything you've done in your career, one thing, Creed, that I'm curious about is, because again, you've accomplished a lot and you still have a lot of road ahead of you and a lot of energy to take you there. But what would you say you're most proud of right now at this point? On your 50th birthday, what are you most proud of?
Well, there's a couple things. If I had to wrap it up, it's a very broad question, but I would say number one, the fact that I survived and I persevered through all the hard times, times that would have probably sent most people into a different career, and that's one thing. And the second thing is playing at Billy Bob's on September 13th, my first time in Billy Bob's. We're doing a live from Billy Bob's, which is an honor. You have to be a Texan to even be invited. There's only so many of them. There's not a whole lot of them, live from Billy Bob's. So, and just the fact that I got kicked out of Billy Bob's in 2020 and going back there in 2024 as a headline artist doing a live from Billy Bob's, when 4 years later you got kicked out of the bar.
Can you tell us why you got kicked out?
Yeah, I can. I don't deal well with BS.
Okay.
And it was during the whole COVID thing, and I was basically, it was right when they started letting you do stuff again. And if you stood 5 foot over there by the bar, you were safe. And if you stood 5 foot over here by another little railing, you were in danger. So I was standing by the railing. I don't wear masks. I never wear a mask. You can't. 14 grown men cannot hold me down and put a mask on me. Okay. If I have to wear a mask, I will not do what I have to do. The only time I did it was when I needed to get to my family.
Right.
If I had to get to my family, I would put it on, and I hated every second of it because I felt like it was BS.
Okay.
Well, Creed, I have to tell you, I can see where it would take 14 guys to hold you down, because you look to me like, in addition to your music, you kind of work out a good bit too, don't you?
I'm pretty stout.
And you were an athlete.
I played football basically most of my adult life. That was kind of my jam earlier in life. I coached youth football for 6 years. I played minor league football for 9.
Wow.
And it was definitely a passion of mine before I got into music, for sure. But to go back to the Billy Bob's thing, I wasn't doing anything. They came up and said I needed to put a mask on because I was standing in the wrong spot. And I said, I ain't going to happen. And he said, yes, it is. And I said, no, it's not. And so he left, and I knew he would be back, and he was. He came back with about 5 or 6 of them, and they escorted me out of the bar. So that's the gist of that story.
Okay. Copy that. We got
Well, the
it.
bottom line is there's going to be a lot of happy people in there in September to see you live at Billy Bob's. That's for sure. It's going to be a great night.
It is, man. I can't wait. It's going to be it's the biggest show of my career so far to this point. So,
Well,
to say I'm
congratulations.
excited is an understatement.
That's wonderful. What else besides that show can fans look forward to for the end of 2024?
Well, we're all over the country, so that's one thing. We're probably busier than most bands I can think of, So we do take a little bit of a break around Christmas, but I don't like to slow down, So we're going to be all over the country. We're going back to California next month, Oregon, Arizona, and then we're back in Florida in October, Alabama. So we're just all over the country.
Well, I'm already looking forward to when you come back anywhere near Pennsylvania. I'll be there. Eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware. I'll be there. We'll be there.
Sellersville, Pennsylvania is like one of my favorites.
It's a great venue.
I just want you to know that.
That was the first time, Creed, that I was there. Rosie's been there quite a few times. I loved it. The sound was great. I mean, it was very intimate. There's not a bad seat in the house. It was phenomenal.
Yeah. It was just a good day all the way around for me. I enjoyed the town.
Yeah, I remember you made a lot of friends outside after the show, after I talked to you. There was a lot of people waiting to shake your hand and take pictures.
I'm looking forward to coming back too, man. I love playing up there. We did really good the shows we had up there this year, so we definitely be back. The sooner the better, as far as I'm concerned.
So, Creed, since it's your 50th birthday, what is the ultimate celebration going to be for you?
Spending time with my sweetheart.
Oh, we saw a beautiful video on your Facebook page.
Man, that was special. I didn't even know that was going to get captured. I want to thank Deanna for capturing that. That was completely off the cuff.
Wow.
I wasn't even expecting to do that at that moment. I kind of planned to do that at the show. But when I walked in and she was so excited because I surprised her, I got kind of caught up in the moment, you know, and Deanna had the ring. She was kind of holding it for me, you know. And so I decided to go ahead and give it to her in front of the select people that I really love there, you know. And it was a special moment for me, but my present didn't come in today. It got delayed, and she's been stressed out about that.
Oh.
And finally I told her, baby, you are my present, okay? Just so you were well aware. So
The love was palpable on that video.
It is, man. You can see it in our faces, you know,
Mm-hmm.
which I am very thankful for. Beyond thankful for it.
Well, and Creed, I'll just say one last thing before Rosie closes us out. I just want to say that on behalf of all of the people that follow you and come to your shows and buy your music, I'm thankful for you giving a voice to many people who don't have a voice, for everything you put out. I enjoy each and every one. And I look forward to having you back when we have a little bit more time to talk and when it's not your birthday.
I'll be in a hotel or the bus next time, I promise.
No worries. Well, listen, have a fantastic birthday. Enjoy with your love and your family. And once again, folks, we always thank you for tuning in and hope you enjoy Creed Fisher. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Some people don't drink beer. Some people don't drive trucks. Some people don't wear boots and put them on before the sun comes up. Some people don't like Hank. Some people don't bow their head for a plate full of food in front of them. But I ain't one of them. Yeah, there's some of them out there, but they're not me. We ain't nothing like, live different lives. That's alright by me. I ain't talking trash to folks like that. I ain't judging them. I'm just saying I ain't one of them. Some people ain't from here. They wasn't raised down a dirt road. Some people ain't never held a gun in their hand in a stand with a buck walking down slow. Some boys don't know the rush, kicking up dust with a country girl shotgun sipping some. I ain't one of them, yeah, there's some of them out there, but they're not me. We ain't nothing like, live different lives. That's alright by me. I ain't talking trash to folks like that. I ain't judging them. I'm just saying I ain't one of them. Some folks don't know a damn thing about a two-lane. But I ain't one of them. Yeah, there's some of them out there, but they're not me. We ain't nothing like, live different lives, and mine's in BFE. I ain't talking trash to folks like that, I ain't judging them. I ain't talking trash to folks like that, I ain't judging them. I'm just saying I ain't one of them.
This week's episode has been brought to you by Doherty & Company Insurance Services for all your business and personal insurance needs. Our friends at Tennis Addiction in Exton, PA. And the Malin Agency, where exceeding expectations is how they do business.